We've got a short and sweet one today. I always say that, but I'm thinking it'll be a nice, sweet, short episode on passive income and the details behind my thoughts on the phrase passive income. Welcome to the Up in My Business podcast with me, Lex Lancaster, where you'll get an inside look at all things tech, business, and my life as a physical therapist turned digital operations expert. You'll hear all about my lessons as a business owner, the ins and outs of tech for your business, and more. From SEO, websites, and email marketing to automations, launches, and copywriting, I've got you. I'm so excited you're here. Let's dive in. Before we dive into today's episode, let's give a shout out to the Up in My Business podcast sponsor, Jane. Jane is a clinic management software and EMR, and I absolutely love Jane. I use Jane in my practice, and I am hoping most of my clients use Jane at this point. And whether you're just starting to do your own research or you've been contemplating switching your software for a while now, the Jane team understands that the process can feel intimidating. I get it because I switched softwares as well, and it was very intimidating. And that's why their goal is to provide you with all of the onboarding resources you need to make the switch as soon as possible and as easy as possible. Jane offers a personalized call to set up your account, a free date import, and a variety of online resources to get you up and running quickly. And if you need help along the way, when you're first starting to use it, you'll have access to unlimited phone, email, and chat support included in your Jane subscription. So if you're interested in learning more, book a one-on-one demo at jane.app/switch. And if you decide to make the switch, don't forget to use my code LEX1MO at sign up to receive a 1-month grace period on your new Jane account, which works perfectly because you'll be able to set up the account and get things up and running and going smoothly while you're on the free plan. And then once you start paying, hopefully you'll be ready to use the software and get your quote unquote money's worth when you are paying for it. So that code LEX1MO at checkout to receive a 1-month grace period. And now we will jump into today's episode of Up in My Business. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in. If you're new, welcome. If you have been listening for a bit, thank you so much for continuing to listen. I can't describe the feeling that I get when people are like, I listened to every episode, or I have gone back and listened to every episode if they are a new listener. So thank you so much for doing that. I can't describe how much that means to me. Like I said, I sit here and I talk to myself. And when I originally released the podcast and started the podcast, I had no idea who would listen and hope for the best. And it's turned out to be one of the best things I've done for my business and to just continue to give away a lot of good content to people. So thank you so much for listening. As always, we're going to start the podcast with life updates, business updates, and then we'll jump into the episode, which should be relatively quick today because I did make a post about it and I really just wanted to use my voice to elaborate and just give a little backstory. So first and foremost, life updates. Everything is pretty good. I'm looking out the window right now. It's really windy. It's supposed to rain for the next couple days. This is apparently winter in California. So like how winter usually is what I mean by that. So winter is typically a little bit of rain in January, some in February, and then it supposedly gets better from there. This is my first winter in California, or Southern California, so I don't know that. So I'm getting used to that. It was great. We got volleyball in today at 6:30. We weren't sure if we were going to be able to because we didn't know if the wind would be too high or if it would be raining already, but we lucked out and the weather held off for us, and it was great. So I'm trying to think of what else I wanted to say on the life updates. Aside from that, everything else is really good. If you see me on Zoom calls or if you have meetings with me monthly, people have noticed that my Zoom background is changing. And I've been working on rearranging my office and getting a chair in the back of my office to sit in. So the way that my office is set up, the only place that I can really put my desk, because I have a camera for Zoom calls and whatnot, is in front of the window. And that is, it's in the middle of the window, right? Because I have a pretty big desk. So the only space that I really have to make like a sitting area, quote unquote, is in the back corner, which ends up being in my Zoom background along with the plant. So if you are a part of any coaching call or group program I'm in, or have been on any Zoom calls that I'm on, you see that I have the green plant, and everyone always loves the plant. So I knew that I had to keep the green in the back. But I've been slowly getting some things over the last week to build out, quote unquote, build out a little sitting area in the back of my office. So I am not the person who needs to be entertained by food or, I don't want to say activities. Like I could just be home and do nothing, as far as like I could scroll, or I could read, or I could do work, or I could go to volleyball. Like I don't have to be entertained, if you will. I don't have to have new things all the time. I do have to be entertained by my workspace. So I don't know if anyone else is like this, but throughout the day, I like to have one workspace that I'm at, and then I will get up in the middle of the day and switch that space for periodic resets. So I'll work at my computer for a couple hours, and then I like to get up and walk around. But then when I return to work, I like to typically switch where I'm sitting, and then I'll return back to my desktop, because I have a big desktop computer. So I love sitting at it because it does hurt my eyes less. And it's definitely my preferred computer screen, but I also need a reset, and I will go on my laptop and sit in a different location. The problem that I was having since we had moved in is that my other space to sit would be downstairs, which is the living room, the kitchen, the dining room. And for me, I have a really hard time working in a space that I want to be a relaxing space. Like I want to associate my office with my work, and then outside of the office, I don't really love to pick up my computer and do work. I find that my body just kind of rejects it, and I tried it, and I get some stuff done, but I just feel like I have less motivation, if you will, to get things done when I'm not in a space that is meant to be a workspace. So with that being said, I decided that I needed a space to sit in a chair in my office. So that's what I'm building out in the back, and it's been fun. I currently have a brown chair, and then a footstool and a blanket, and now I'm waiting on the rug to come in, and then I actually switched out the planter that I had in the back. So instead of a basket, I got like a mid-century modern planter-esque thing, and that's coming today. So that side should be done, but once the rug comes, I have to decide what else I want to put in here. I'm not good at this, and Shantae is, so leaning on her for a little bit of support with this, just because I also not the person who, if I'm not good at something and I don't care to learn how to do it, it's not important to me, I shut down when it comes to doing that thing. So I know I'm not good at decorating and choosing where things go. I know I don't want to really be good at it. I don't really see it as something that I enjoy doing. I don't like it. So I shut down when it comes to choosing things and where to put things and what color and yada yada. So leaning on her for support with that, because she's good at it and she does enjoy it from, what I've seen here at the house. So with that being said, stay tuned. If you're on Zoom calls with me, you'll see it, but if you're not, then I will update you to let you know what's going on as far as that space goes. But if you are someone who does struggle with sitting in one space, I do find that if you haven't experimented with just switching your workspace, going from a desktop to a laptop or what have you, it can be really nice. And I will always do my email power hours at my laptop, and typically in a space that I like. So if I'm on a Friday afternoon, Thursday afternoon, and I'm doing a power hour just to answer emails, I will always do that in a space that feels really good. So that's where that chair comes in. I also got another neon light. So at night, it'll be a little bit brighter in here overall. So one, my eyes will hurt less on my laptop screen, but also it will just have a more, I don't want to say set the mood, but lighting makes a big deal. Makes a big difference, is a big deal, makes a big difference. So I wanted to make sure the lighting was good too. So stay tuned. I'll let you know how that goes. Next up, we have business updates. So business updates, there's two things that I want to put on your radar right now. The first thing is that SEO School is likely going to open for registration at the, I'm going to say, end of March, early April. I have not fully decided yet. I have to look at a few things first, but end of March, early April. If you're not on the waitlist for SEO school, make sure you get on the waitlist. You will save money. I'm still deciding price point where that's going to lie. And I'm also considering adding something extra before SEO school. So I have to, once again, just figure that part out on my own, and then I will keep you updated. But if you're not on the SEO school waitlist, I do recommend you get on that waitlist ASAP so that you're on there when registration opens in late March, early April. Next, Shantae is doing an Instagram for Business Blueprint webinar, workshop, masterclass. She's titling it a masterclass on February 11th. So it's a Saturday. I'm literally pulling up my calendar. I'm lying. It's February 10th. It's Saturday, February 10th. It's 3 hours long. I will also be there because I'll be the Zoom moderator. So if you want to join, you'll also get to hang out with me. Not that I do anything on that call, but I will be the one checking the sound and all the things. So if you are interested in joining her Instagram for Business Blueprint masterclass, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. So I had done, I think it was my monthly recap email, I had said people will come onto my calls for discovery calls. And because I post a lot on social and what have you, I think they assume that I will also teach Instagram strategy and whatnot. Totally not the case. I refer anyone who's looking to like get better, quote unquote, or quote unquote do Instagram to Shantae. And I will say, go talk to her, go join the Instagram intensive, what have you, go do that. And I will always refer out to her for that. So if you're thinking you want help with Instagram and using Instagram for business and knowing what to post, knowing how to get to your people, how to post things that matter to them, how to not show up as something that's different than who you actually are, she's going to be the person that teaches all of that stuff to you on that masterclass. So I will put the registration link in the show notes. It is $149, $147. It's either $47 or $49. Make sure you join. I will say that if you are questioning anything about how to use social media for your business, I would join the Instagram for Business Blueprint Masterclass next Saturday. So if you're listening to this on Monday, February 5th, it is this upcoming weekend. So February 10th. So make sure you join ASAP. And I want to say she had mentioned that there were 20 seats left. I think there are 20 seats left, and that was as of February 1st. So there may be even less at this point. So let's try to join and don't miss out, because I would hate for you to miss out while registration is still open and while there are still seats left. Okay. That's all I've got for you for business and life updates. There are other things that we could go into, but I really just want to dive into the episode and keep it short today. So let's talk about passive income. I actually hate this word. It's not because, so if you are familiar with the way that I typically do things, is I'm not necessarily doing the business strategy coaching. I'm more or less doing the tech and implementation of the strategy coaching. Because for me, I will typically get people who are getting business strategy coaching from other coaches, such as Shantae or Jill Coleman, Emma Jack. So I will get people from those folks who reach out and say, hey, I'm working with X, Y, and Z. I need help with the tech side. So I definitely specialize in that tech side. However, I am literally living in the world of online business. I own an online business, and I surround myself with other people who coach online business owners and coaches who are just really good at what they do. And obviously I am also, my partner is an online business coach that is incredible. So I am very much so aware of the strategies and whatnot and passive income and why that term is such annoying. It's a frustrating term. It's frustrating that it's really put on a pedestal, and it's frustrating that a lot of coaches will pitch passive income, quote unquote passive income. So I'm not going to dive into like the business strategy part. It's just not my full expertise. And I'm going to talk about why I personally don't love the term passive income and why I will always tell people we're not working together yet. Like, I would love to work with you, but we're not going to work together yet. So just as an example, I get less than 10, but I do get more often than not. I get people who have these requests for help with tech or systems to develop a course or to have passive income on the side. So typically it's a course, like I had said, or it's like something that lives on their website and it just is for sale. Okay, so I get people who reach out who want systems set up for that thing so that they can have passive income. Oftentimes it's a new offer too. So they haven't had a course yet. They haven't necessarily started an online business. They're really just in the brick and mortar space, or they're just new to online business and they want to create this one thing that lives on their site and it just passively goes in the background. Now, I do think, just like website design and SEO, I think there's a huge problem in the space where people get information from a lot of different places, and it's fine. I'm so glad that people have multiple sources that they trust, but there are some sources that will tell you, create something, and once you build it, they will come. And the thing is, and Shantae says this a lot, you want to build something that people are asking for. So you don't want to build out a course that no one has asked you to build and just assume that because you create it, people are going to come and buy the thing. And you don't want to create a paid ebook if someone isn't asking you any questions yet. So for me, when I get asked the question, can you help me with systems and automations and building a cart and making a sales page and yada yada for these passive, if you will, or new offers, my first question is, who are you getting coached by? And if it's, obviously I have people fill out a form when they book a call with me, but if this person is new to me and new to my ecosystem and I have not spoke with them before, whether it be on Instagram or heard of them through the grapevine, then I will always ask, who are you getting coached by, and what is your goal here, and how much work have you done, and what are things looking like? And I'll take a peek at their social media really quick and their website and just have a general idea of where they're coming from and what stage of business they're in. And for me, I will always say, if someone comes to me and wants systems and what have you for a new offer or what they're calling a passive income offer, my first suggestion, if they're not getting coached, I will refer them out, because I 110% want to help people develop a cart, a sales page, a newsletter, a landing page or a wait list, a product itself, build the ebook. I'll help you build out the course. I'll make the course happen for you as far as uploading videos, making PDFs for the course. I'll do the whole damn thing. I love it. I love that stuff. It's so fun to make the systems talk to each other. And when someone goes and buys something, everything just magically happens in the background and you're on a plane to Texas. It's amazing. That is so cool to me. And I love making that happen for people. And it's one of the coolest things that I get is feedback from clients. They'll be like, I'm at the beach with my kid and I'm selling something and they had to do nothing. That's great. And now I want to clarify what that nothing is, quote unquote. So the reason why I say that and why I get so, bent up about passive income and developing systems and automations for passive income is because that's really a bad term for it. It's not passive at all. And I will go into that in a second, but the reason I refer out first is because I want to help you and I want people to come to me for that type of help. But I want you to make sure you're getting business coaching from someone and have realistic expectations in place before we go build this big thing. Because for me, you're making a big investment by hiring me to build this thing for you. And if there's no strategy behind it and you're going off just what you've been hearing in the ecosystem from various people, or you're just hoping it works, I don't want to take your money and then be like, this plan is so stupid, and still take your money and build the thing, because that's a huge problem in website design, SEO, etc. world already. And I don't want to perpetuate that. So for me, I want to know who you're getting coached by and what the goal is. And do you have realistic expectations? And is this something that you're creating and you've talked about it with someone else first? And I'm not the first person that you're saying, hey, I want to build this course to. And then suddenly we're buying Kajabi, which is $150 a month. And then you're paying me for a do it in a day or plus that, which is over $2,000. Suddenly we're spending a ton of money and we have no strategy behind it. For me, that feels like a bad business plan. So I will always tell people, let's get coaching in place first, whether that's one Maestro meeting. I will refer to Shantae. I shamelessly will say, I refer to my partner. I refer to her all the time for this because she's who I trust. And also people really, really appreciate getting that strategy before they, go further on in their, product creation, what have you. So long and the short for the word passive, right? So even if, yes, I refer out, and then if someone comes back to me and they have a better idea of like what that means, they then will not focus on the word passive income, because they will talk about that with Shantae. But for me, I'm like, just a quick little aside, passive income, like I have shit that sits on my website that if I don't talk about, it doesn't sell. Like I have webinar recordings, I have templates, I have all the things on my site. And if I don't talk about it, I might sell a couple here and there, but it's not like just pumping money into my system all the time. Like it just isn't a thing. So when people are like, I want to run my brick and mortar clinic, but I want to have passive income on the side. So I'm going to create this course and it's just going to live on my website. People are going to buy it. Like that is the furthest thing from the truth. So that's why it's so important for me to make sure that people do have that strategy and coaching and expectation management before they work with me, because I would hate for them to work with me, spend this money, and then assume that people are just going to buy this thing and then have no one buy and be like, but I created it. It's there. Why are you not buying it? So for me, it's just one of those things where it just goes back to coaching and expectation management and knowing that you're getting coached by someone and you understand the risk, you understand what needs to go into it in order to make this thing work. And if not, right? So if you are not getting coached, can we get you somewhere to be coached so that you do understand the expectations that you need to have and, what needs to go into a launch and how you need to promote this thing, yada, yada. So for me, it's like, I get it. I understand that there is messaging that exists to just create this thing and it will be passive and run in the background. But I know like that's a stupid plan. It's not built around the fact that people generally are not they're not aware of the things. Like I still get people who DM me about websites. Like, do I build websites? And I'm like, what? I'm so confused. What? So people are not aware of exactly what you do already, nor are they, scoping your website to just buy random things from you, especially not a high ticket course, right? People are like, I'm going to build a course and charge $1,200 for the course. Like people aren't just going to go drop, $1,200 randomly if you're not talking about it. And if you're not posting and doing things that will draw people to that course. So that's why that passive part is just really, it's just not a good word for it. It's definitely active income, like 110% active income. You have to do things in order to sell the thing. So when people will come to me and ask for that, I will always begin with asking who they're being coached by and are they aware of, all of the nuances that go with that, and do they have expectations that are, realistic in place? And if not, I need to refer you out. And then once you get that coaching all ready to go, then I will always work with people to build out these things, because it's my favorite. Like it is hands down one of the most fun things that I do. So that's really all I've got for you today. I wanted to touch base on that, use my voice a little bit to describe that post in a little bit more detail than I made on Instagram, which I'll link in the show notes, but that's all I got for you. I wanted to make sure I kept it pretty short. And if you skipped the life updates, it really was pretty short, but that's all I've got for you. I hope you have a lovely week. Don't forget to sign up for the Instagram Business Blueprint Masterclass that is happening on Saturday, February 10th. It's 3 hours long. I believe it's 11 to 2, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I believe it starts at 11, but if not, it might start at 10. Don't quote me. Check the sales page. But anyway, PST. So yes, it is 3 hours long. It's totally going to be incredible. If you sign up, I will see you there. And once again, if you're thinking you want to get better at Instagram, that is the place to be. So hope you have a great week. I will catch you next time.